NCAAs are here, and the Pioneers. Well, NCAAs are here. Round two of the NCAAs are here, and the Pioneers take on a UW-Stout team who comes out, hits hard, and just tries to lay out body. Now, looking at the statistics, I'm gonna put up Stout first. Obviously, Stout has a few players with good numbers. Stocks, Daikawa, and Pigeon are all top three in points for the team. Stocks with 15 goals, 19 assists for 34. Daikawa, sorry if I'm mispronouncing any of these names, 8 goals, 16 assists for 24 points. And then Nicholas Pigeon, who at one point canceled a transfer to Utica, 10 goals, 13 assists, 23 points. Top scoring defenseman is Gunnar Moore with 1 goal, 15 assists. And the likely goaltender tonight, who has played in a majority of the high-profile games, Sebastian Monaco. Freshman who has a 197 GAA, a 935 save percentage, and a 14-2-1 record. Stout's 22-5-1. They've had some easy opponents and some hard opponents. Obviously, a game against St. John's, St. Norbert, and Gustavus. The St. Norbert win does help scare me a little. But the Gustavus loss plus another loss or two on their schedule also give me a little more hope. Stout is 8-4-1 on the road, but some of the road statistics in terms of in one goal games is hovering around 500 or lower. So it's about 500. Some of them are lower, some of them are above. So that kind of helps. 3.75 goals a game, 18th, 2.29 goals against, a 92.4% PK, which ties into the 15.93 PIMS a game because they do a lot of penalties. They remind me of Newman in terms of just stack up the minutes all the time. And it's a complete departure from what Utica played last week in Williams, who played a very fast, less contact, more polished, more finesse game. Not a ton of hitting, not a ton of penalties, mostly a clean game. Well, this is the complete opposite. They play a heavy hitting, high penalty minute, high penalty, aggressive game. They have a mid-level power play, a higher tier penalty kill because you gotta have a good penalty kill when you're top 10 in the nation and PIMS, unless you're playing a top 15 team every week. But so we'll see how that goes from them. And on the other side, your Pioneers are obviously led by Morse, Scott, Ahern as the forwards, Serrato as the D-man, and Kyle Curtin in net. Morse has 35 points, 17 of those goals. Gut has 14 and 14 for 28 points, and Ahern has 11 and 17 for 28. Serrato has 2 goals, 17 assists, 19 points, still 1 point off Olivieri's 20 from a freshman D-man. Curtin has a 2.11 or a 2.11, a 909, and a 14.511 record. The GAA in percentage is down and up in recent weeks. It's kind of short up a little. Utica's seen a lot of tough opponents. The home and home against Hobart, which both came down to a goal, which sadly the one at home was a Curtin mistake from behind the net that he unfortunately allowed in the net. The Hamilton game, which I didn't put an asterisk. I said it wrong again. Asterisk. I don't know. I'm going to say it wrong either way. Next to it, because it's really a 1-2 loss, and it really shouldn't have been a loss, but the refs kind of screwed that game. Refs took the game out of the players' hands. There's a 5-3 win against Oswego, which empty net are a little closer than it appears. And then the Geneseo games. 5-3. Or 3-5, 3-4 in OT, 4-1. The Pioneers finally get it over with at home in the championship and find a win. And then they take Williams 3-0. 27-1 are the Pioneers overall, 13-2-1 at home. The losses to Hobart, Geneseo, and Hamilton. Yes, those are the three. And then you have a 4.50 goals a game with a 2.21 goals against, 25.23% power play, with now 4 players with 5 power play goals or more, because Ahern is now at 6, Gut is now at 5. I think last game gave him 5, either the last game or the game before gave him 5. So there is now 4 players with 5, and a 58.29% face-off percentage, number 1 in D3, closely followed by Geneseo. Geneseo, I think, was the team that really could flip that battle on Utica. And then there's stats to watch, which this is more of just some of what you've already seen. And the main reason I was putting it up was there is a couple differing stats. The Pioneers do shoot 36.68 shots per game, 15th in the nation, which is up there. Stout is a little further down that list. 12-1-1 when leading after 1 for the Pioneers, and 17-2-1 when they score first. But you have a Stout team that, depending on which poll you follow, or if you take both, are either 1-0 or 2-0 against against ranked teams, with the win against Norbert and the win against, and that's taking the rankings as of right now, against, I just had it up, Gustavus, because Gustavus is ranked currently at 15th in the D3 Hockey News Poll, but are receiving votes in, I think I said receiving votes in the USCHO poll, but it's going to be an interesting matchup. It all depends on who the Pioneers trot out and where. Obviously, you know Curtin's going to be in net. Curtin's been there in the big games recently. And then you have the first line's probably not going to break up. I mean, I see a similar lineup to last weekend, but I don't know for sure because I'm recording this I usually record around 2. I'm early. It's just after 1, and the lineups don't come out till 5:15, 5:30ish. So we're not going to know for another 4 hours. But looking at that lineup, I do think Jagger may come out, Jagger McClellan, for McMillan. I don't know. Long he was the extra. I don't think he'll be the extra. Actually. Oh wait, it might be connecting. Obviously, the first line's not going to break up of Morse, Rivera, Rogers. The second line probably won't split of Lundy centering Hughes and Gooley. Vito started with Gut in backs, and then Ahern got flipped with him, and Vito went back to 4th left wing with Jagger and Kuzi. I can see rotating McMillan for Jagger, maybe? Just because I feel like Jagger's very small. I mean, McMillan's skinny, but Jagger's small. So it's just about which guy do you want in that position more. It also depends on if Long he may come in as an extra and you make Mac or Jagger the extra, and then you keep backs in the lineup. I think you're going to have to keep backs in the lineup this game to meet physicality with physicality. Maybe you bump up. Maybe Coach Heenan does that switch again with the 4th and the 3rd, where Gut backs Ahern of the 4th again, and they just match him with a checking line and go, have fun. Go backs, go hit, and Gutter and Ahern go produce something. Make a hit, create a play. You know, who knows? But defense will probably stay pretty much the exact same. At least as long as Serrato and Perrick aren't together, I am the happiest person, because that line scares me more than a lot of things scare me. I've seen a lot of bad things from that line. Not in Serrato's half. Just some bad timing plays at the worst times. But you know, I don't know what to expect yet, because there's only been 14 goals from UW-Stout in the first, but in the second they turn it up and score the most that they score in a period. And the third follows it. I think it's 5 goals short between the second and third. But the thing about that is they go out and they hit hard, they hit fast, they try to just demolish you, which is a complete separation from Williams. So it's about, do the Pioneers get sucked into that game, or do they just say, hey, focus on the breakout, because the breakout looked a little rough last game. Just focus on breaking out the puck, keeping it with the open skater, Just keep it constantly moving, because you can hit all you want, but when the puck's not there, it could take something out or somebody out of the play. And, as long as you just keep moving the puck, you can make something happen against a team that's going to just try to bury. So that might be the route, or maybe you just say, hey, go meet him head to head. He goes to hit you, hit him harder. I don't know. I'm not a D3 coach. I don't know what's going on in that locker room. I wish I did. I wish I knew what the scheme was, because that would give a little of an idea. But all I know is that it's a hard-hitting team versus a very mixed team. The Pioneers, I don't think, excel necessarily in one thing. I mean, they have a good amount of finesse. They don't have a ton of physicality, but they have guys that can go out and be physical if you really want them to. Bax is one of those guys. Bax can literally just... I see a hit. He reminds me of Jackson Rakowski. But, it is what it is. Everyone go now, drive safe. Hopefully it's not going to rain today, because it rained a ton yesterday, which sucked. All the rivers are high around here. I don't know I know the lower bowl has pretty much sold out. I don't know if it is sold out yet. I'm going to check now. But the lower bowl had pretty much sold out. UW-Stout didn't sell a lot of tickets. So, Pioneers fans, I know we're going to scoop those up. Yep, so the only lower bowl left are 10-101, or 10-102, and 7-101. And that's not a ton. The rest of the 100s are sold. 210, 211 are gone. 209, 08, 07, 04, and 15 to 19 are all in the gray, so they're low. So it's going to be a very packed house tonight. Sadly, not a sellout, but the Pioneers fans, I think, are going to show up. I think you'll see it. And hey, let's hope they can pull one off tonight, because if they pull one off, I'm not even going to say it, but if they pull it off, I'm going to be one of the happiest people around. Go Pioneers. Let's hope they can do it.